The trade war between the world's two largest economies just boiled over in the span of 280 characters. On Friday, just after U.S. stock markets closed, U.S. President Donald Trump announced via Twitter, starting on October 1st, the $250 billion of goods and products from China currently being taxed at 25% will be taxed at 30%. Additionally, the remaining $300 billion of goods and products from China that was being taxed from September 1st at 10% will now be taxed at 15%. This was Trump's retaliation after Beijing announced a few hours earlier that China will tax an additional $75 billion worth of U.S. goods, also starting next month. That came at the end of an already tumultuous day. Earlier Friday, the U.S. president tweeted an order to American businesses: move supply chains out of China immediately. Trump does not, in fact, have the power to command U.S. businesses to leave China, but he does have leverage.
He can encourage them. He can not give them government contracts, for example, if they're buying things from the government or trying to sell things to the government. But no, he can't stop that.
The tweet still spooked investors. The Dow Jones closed more than 2% down. The tech-heavy NASDAQ index was off by 3%, both signs of the importance of the Chinese market to U.S. companies. All this comes at a particularly vulnerable time in Trump's presidency. A growing number of economists forecast a U.S. recession on the horizon, driven partly by the White House trade policies. Trump has responded by blaming everyone but himself.
I think the word recession is a word that's inappropriate because it's just a word that the certain people, I'm going to be kind, certain people in the media are trying to build up because they'd love to see a recession.
Trump also took unprecedented aim at the chairman of the U.S. Federal Reserve. The central bank lowered interest rates last month, but not as much as Trump hoped. That earned its chairman this comparison from Trump. Who is our bigger enemy, Jay Powell or Chairman Xi, the Chinese leader? President Trump will spend the weekend in France at the G7 meeting with fellow leaders of major industrialized nations. The White House has asked concerns of a global recession to be front and center, and no doubt the U.S.-China trade escalation will dominate those discussions. Heidi, Zhou-Castro, Al Jazeera, Washington.